When all is said is done. I love shapes a goofy lad. Hey, Balsam Reese. How you doing good today? I'm doing fine. I mean, I only woke up an hour ago, so. I watched TikTok for 30 minutes, and then I played like 20 minutes of bed fight. That's why the stream started late. My last bed fight game took too long. Because I queued tracked. One Zuhu game? Almost a Zuhu game. The tracked game went to like, so the tracked game took a while. Hey, Brennan. What are my Rays doing? I think about this every day. But then also, is the team better than what we think it is? And last year, the travel just fucked the team over. Did the Lions win yesterday? Yeah, they won in overtime. Can you give me money? Sure, you can give me money. Like, I just stole the diamonds. I wanted those. No, it seems ass, bro. Yeah, but Junior. I mean, did you see some of those plays that the Giants ran? And also because the Lions just suck. I knew that game would be close. Like, they have such a good D-line and our O-line's been so bad. Thank God for Gibbs. I almost killed my teammate. Spintown wouldn't have been happy about that. And St. Brown's been bad. But I mean, like, do you want to know what's really funny? So the Tigers played in front of Trump. They did the Trump dance, and then they like collapsed. And then when we played Washington, like Amon-Ra did it. And so just like all the like the crossover like Tigers, the Lions fans are like, "Yep, season's over." It's really funny. It's really funny because after that we like played like the two like. After that, we, like, played terrible against the Eagles and then started that game against the Giants terribly. Oh, my aim. Oops. I think my bed's gone. Hopefully I can kill my teammate. So who on the Bucks did that dance? I saw some Baker hate on the timeline when I woke up this morning. Is Baker the problem? I also saw clips of what looks like to be he was playing injured. Baker's the only one that is not a problem. That's not true. The wide receiver room isn't a problem when the people are healthy. Key word there. I love this game. Which game, Neb? All games? There's probably games that you don't like. It's gonna be so funny when you guys choke the division to the Panthers. They're just not legit. I'm sorry. Outside of, like, the 2 Falcon games, when does that offense look like a real unit? I mean, it was fine for, like, the first few, like Rico Dowd games, but... It's kind of crazy to think about the fact that if, like, the Lions lose on Thanksgiving, like, the playoffs look grim. I'm a hater, but also, like, it becomes a really terrible path. Now, the year before that was our year. Last year wasn't our year because everyone got hurt to hell. But the year before that was our year. I mean, we literally choked, like, what? 17-point lead in the conference championship game. Who? Can I add you on Discord? Why do you want to add me on Discord? I mean, sure, you can add me on Discord, but, like, why? Oh, is that blue? Okay. What star is your main? 1,548. Oh, he's a fighter? I can't watch fights. I hate the sight of blood. Why did you spend all of your childhood in hospitals? Do you want to be in your vid? Your vid for what? Sounds like a commitment. The dumbest thing I did when I was a kid was I rode, like, my, like, whatever, like, you know, the little, like, electrolyzed cars. I drove one of those into a trash can, and then I had to get stitches in my mouth. Well, it was a recycling bin, actually. Oh, no, like, ow. They got the diamonds too. Treasure. I don't think I'm interested. That's time of my day I don't feel like spending. I'm a hater. Nah, I just hate Minecraft. Neb, I should have known so much sooner. I had like... I've had like 2 incidents when it's come to like driving a vehicle growing up. Why wasn't that a sign sooner, you know? I drove a golf cart into a tree once as well. Probably not, no. I think gender norms are bad. I think it's just funny to point out things like that. That's like, yeah, no, that has no correlation. But I kind of do like the fact that I can say that I drove, like I drove into a recycling bin and had to get stitches in my mouth. Misogyny is only okay if it's like gender reaffirming misogyny. Yeah, it came out of nowhere. I had the right of way. Yeah, exactly. Should I split with my teammate? They deserve it. Do you think they understand the concept of splitting? I'm gonna stand at the gen till they walk in. Yeah, that truly is like... That truly is the path that like you have to go down, right? Are they gonna split with me? That really is like the rite of passage. It's like gotta like, you know, try to make hyperpop music. Because regardless of how bad it will be, you'll have a fan base. I mean, just like I'm hating on bad hyperpop. I gotta stop being a hater. Actually, most of it's bad. Most of it's just like bad, but like it's enjoyable enough even though it's bad. But I'm Paris, I'm the better. No, my teammate died! We snort no deeds, that's particle effect. At least my teammate bought me feather falling before they died. Yeah, since 2017. And it's crazy that I've basically been around since the whole time that, like, it has been out of, prototype. Like, I'm a loser. There's no pinks at their base, I think. I don't know. Yeah, I started playing August 2017. This guy's Zeus! I used to play, like, on my PS all day. My PS4. And I played 2K all day. And then my mom took my PS. And I didn't know what to do with myself because it was, like, a month before school was starting again. And I had seen my cousin watching, like, unspeakable videos on bedwars. So, like, I used to, like, play, like... I used to, like, dabble in some Minecraft, like... You know, like, when I was, like, I don't know, 9 to 10 range. But then I was like, oh, I need something to do a month before school starts. So then I started playing bedwars. And let's just say that month never ended. Well, the month is like taking breaks now and then, but it's never the quit has never happened. I can break Pink's bed, but also I kind of want Yellow to die. Yeah, no, I get it. I played the least amount of, like, I barely played bedwars during COVID. It's really funny. I played, like, everything else. Like, I was still playing Minecraft, but it's so funny how, like, I barely played bedwars during COVID. I played like more like UHC and Skywars than I did bedwars. Bedwars is just a constant. That's the only difference. Bedwars just has been the only constant and been the game that I got into the earliest, so I was the best at. Yeah, I was never really that good, but I always wanted to be good at UHC. It was like, it always would have been if I could have traded my bedwars talent for like UHC, like. Yeah. But what would always happen is I would queue, like, ranked bedwars, and then, like, I'd queue, like, 2 games, and then I realized I didn't want to wait all that time to play ranked. So then I would, like, just, like, go play, like, a Hypixel Yours or something, just, like, anything. And that was also, like, when I was, like, and then I started, like, watching, like, Bob, and then... I think I saw Rain. I saw Rain, like, it was back when, like, Glade exists or whatever the fuck. I saw him, like, advertise a stream on that server, and then I watched him, like, play, like, a Tapple marathon with Bob. And that's how I, like, started watching him. Mm-hmm. But it's actually funny. The reason why I started streaming in the first place, though, wasn't to stream, like, bedwars or anything. It's because, like, I would sit in VCs when I was like, I'd sit in, like, ranked bedwars VCs, like, screen sharing when I like, played UHC. Because, like, that was, like, what I would play. And then somebody was like, you should start streaming on Twitch. And so, like, I actually, like, streamed, like, me, like, playing random UHCs when I first started streaming on Twitch. And, like, Hypixel and stuff like that. It's really funny. Because I was always more into UHC than bedwars. I was just better at bedwars. And bedwars has just stayed, like, more consistent. I still queue Hypixel UHCs to this day, Neb. I won one this week. I don't play at times where where the cheaters would be Chinese, but it's just a bunch of everyone cheats in cross teams. So you don't just get hacked on, you also get cross teamed on. Taking down the E-daters, Nem, or looking for the love of your life. There's two options. Oh, that's a third option. Yeah, it's so crazy. Outside of, like, sports games on my Xbox, I haven't played any other game besides Minecraft at the time that I started playing Minecraft. Yeah, I mean, like, even for me, it's like the sports games are fun, like, but then I hit that, like, that wall in, like, every game where it's like, well, I'm never gonna be as good at that game as I am at bedwars. Might as well just play bedwars to feel good about myself. I mean, that's, like, one of the reasons why, like, I can't get away from it. Being, like, really good at a game, even though I'm mechanically terrible, is very validating. And I also just hate being bad at things. So that's what it's like. I don't want to try anything new because I'm going to be bad at it. And I don't want to have to, like, deal with learning. And then it's also like, oh, I already have this game that I'm really good at. That I'm like, why would I stop playing the game I'm really good at? But the reason why I stopped playing the game I'm good at is because, God, it gets boring sometimes. And Minecraft is really only fun because of the people. It's not really as fun because of the game. It's more fun because of the people. So it's not something I can just sit there and just, like, mindlessly play for hours without, like, the interaction with people. Where I found that to be more accustomed with the sports games where it's like I'm perfectly fine sitting here for hours with no interaction. So I guess I like, go, like, just spend a bunch of time on my Xbox whenever, like, I don't feel like interacting with people. Whenever I'm depressed, I go find some random sports game to play on my Xbox. Oh, I'm dead. I mean, I grew up on them, so... I think I like just trying to make things feel realistic and, like, the realistic feel of them, because I just am such a big fan of sports. Crazy. PC, I almost had them. What the hell? Top left. Did you e-chess team chess? This guy doesn't know who he's playing with. I need my armor. Augers. I told you to stop left. Wow, this guy's better than me. It's the end. Unless I can 2v1 against a team with Prot. Hi, Dead Fisher, how are you? Oh my god, rip. Why were you glazing China? I mean, like, fire, but, like, what did China do to, like, get its recognition, you know? Oh, this sucks. Tragedy. You had shears? I mean, it doesn't matter. I made the better choice of not mining. I love this guy. Never mind. I hate everything. Dude, the full damage check. It's the end because of the full damage check. I placed the blocks in the wrong spot. I don't know, they switched everything on Badline. I just have the original launcher. I don't fucking know what they did with Badline. Are you guys talking about Arctic? I hated Arctic. God forbid I want a melee. No, Arctic wasn't that bad. You know what I loved? I loved the lunar UHCs when they hosted those. Hi, Jedi. I'm so poor. Wait, that blue guy's the best. Imagine if I had blocks. Oh, I hate being poor, and now my teammate's gonna go die to them with the diamonds on him. Ugh. Ugh. What version of what am I playing? Because my teammate wasn't gonna do that. My teammate wasn't gonna team wipe the team. Oh, he didn't die with the diamonds. He gets a little bit of grace. How selfish? I wouldn't split with you either, Deadfisher. Hey, Winwide, do you guys hear the whatever's going on in my backyard? I hope it's ice. I don't think ice is in my backyard. Sounds like a leaf blower.
Did I whip up the bow yet or not?
There is ice in my backyard. Well, of course, you live in Canada. What is your backyard, like a tundra? Like it's a frozen lake? Just because you redeemed that, Snuggles. Like, you step out of your igloo, and it's like, what else would you see besides ice? Yeah, me too. What did Calgary do, though? Nikki, how do you feel about Calgary? How did their, like, igloos survive all those... How do they even have fires when they live in igloos? Hmm? Like, how does an igloo catch on fire? They're living free? Well, yeah, everyone in Canada lives in an igloo with a polar bear. Did you not know that, Jediah? They set their igloos on fire with gasoline? Gosh. Nikki, it only took you 1 hour to make your house? Well, Nikki probably wasn't alive when her parents made the igloo. Nikki, have they taught you to make your own igloo yet? Oh, you were homeless before? Out there living in the... Well, I mean, you probably were living with the polar bear, so it's not that bad to be homeless. Do the polar bears like maple syrup? Wait, but then why would I see a Tim Hortons in like America? Just like, you know, just like a normal like, you know, in a normal looking building. But like in Canada they're all just igloos? How do you know it's a Tim Hortons? It has 3 polar bears instead of 1? Oh, why? Sorry, I don't know about Canadian culture like that. I'm pretty sure it used to be good and then like Burger King bought it in like 2014, Dead Fisho. Or like at some point. I like Tim Hortons. What the hell is that second place? Is this the greatest fight that's ever happened? The Canadian birthright is to have maple syrup and live in an igloo. And say tomorrow and sorry. Those are Canadian birthrights. Sorry. A boot. Sometimes when Nikki says about, it has too much of an oot to it. I said igloos, not housing. No, it doesn't. Don't lie. I would never lie to you. I said homes? They only have igloos in Canada. They don't have homes in Canada, Deadfish. I think you're getting mixed up with somewhere else. No, igloos are different. Hello, Streamer, redeem 5 games of bedwars? Okay, we can play 5 games of bedwars after this game of bedwars. That's a good use of emeralds. Good 5 hearts of fall damage. Dead Fisher, talk to me when you have a JOB. Yesterday, my dad was at work, and he texted me asking me how to pirate the Lions game. No, I fed him into my teammate.
Should I whip up the bow yet or not?
Evidence is irrefutable? Well, why'd he disconnect then? Oh, because his work here is done. Trop hate on timeline? A lot of Trop hate yesterday. Which, I mean, like, it's better than, like, a minor league stadium, but I do agree with the points that it still is Tropicana Field. I wonder how much fixing the roof cost. Yeah, I think my point is that depending on cost, it probably wasn't worth rebuilding the roof. But for terms of like the on-field product, it 100% benefits the players to be playing in the Trop than to be, you know, and just everybody to be playing there at the minor league stadium, even if you're getting a new stadium. Like, I want to get a new stadium. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Like, if you're not really getting a stadium, if there's no stadium deal, there's no point in, like, not rebuilding the Trump. Actually, I have the weather machine now. Oh, sorry, Snuggles. After this, remind me. And then I'll forget again. That's why there's been no major storms. I stole the weather machine. Says a lot, doesn't it? Reese finally playing with a teammate? Yeah, I'm sure Snuggles is gonna play like a real teammate and not water the map for 5 games in a row. Can we pass a revision to condemn communism? No, Snuggles is an amazing player. Just I know Snuggles doesn't care about these doubles games and is gonna care the same amount of these doubles games as I will care. Well, we have to pass the vote first. Dead Fish Show. Wow, I just missed the hit. I realized he wasn't being any help and not breaking the bed, so I went to go hit him. You know, I'm beating the cross-teaming allegations. Majority rule doesn't work in mental institution, Dead Fisher. Hey, what if they put me in there? I thought he was gonna give me blocks. He looked at me like he was gonna give me blocks. We would scenes the means of medication. Uh-oh. Oh. I have to kill this white guy. He's pretty rich. Says a lot. Oh, nope, he's running away. He's hoarding the wealth and running away. Lol, you rich, Ruffle. How do you have such comfortable aim? What do you mean, how do I have such comfortable aim? I don't play on 5 billion cents. I used to, though. Yeah, because you're probably holding your grip too tight and playing on 5 billion cents. Yeah, I got a DM after Eastwoody watched that video saying, "Look who's winning the Cy Young next year." And I responded with, "No, that just means he's gonna strike out a lot of batters." What's wrong with the tight grip? Well, it depends on the context. You know, in certain situations, there's nothing wrong with a tight grip. But when you're trying to aim a mouse at a Minecraft player, you don't want there to be tension. Hope this helps, Dead Fisher. Where's Spencer Strider's Cy Young? How did Spencer Strider do last year? I love the sexual tension between the arm and the mouse. That's not what I was implying. You would? I would what, Snuggles? Snuggles, have you done 100 L head hitters on each side today? Yeah, you don't even want to be the best, do you? My mouse is broken? What mouse do you have, Snuggles? You probably have a Model O. You're a freak loser. And I'm using an office mouse, you upgraded. In terms of quality, you upgraded. What do you mean single hit select? 90% of single hit... Whatever. I hate you. Most of the time you, like, click singularly. You're not really. You click, like, 3 times. You click, like, 3 times for, like, 6 CPS, and that's enough. Not really. I'm LARPing. I'll single click for the rest of this game. Singularly? You know what? You don't know how to read and live in an igloo. Don't talk to me, Nikki. Get a job. If one more person says a single thing to me, I will blow up the world. You won't. You're right. I will blow up the world. But it's funny because you guys thought for a second that I might do it, lol. Lol, you guys got scared that I might blow up the world, lol. But you guys just aren't gonna admit it, but you were scared, lol, lol. It's okay to be scared, I might blow up the world, lol. It's okay, I peed, you got me, Flake? What account are you on, Snuggles? My mother did that for me, Dead Fish. It's so funny. "3D skins look so ass." That's part of the point. I like how bad they look. Time to whip it out. What? Because I like things that are bad. Why do you think I like you, Nikki?
Can I snipe you the day of a teammate? No. When has me having a teammate ever been an excuse to snipe me?
I'm not bad. You're terrible. You skipped the diamond gen on Crimson. Crimson. What do you Crimson? I did not say Crimson, but like, alright, dog. Snuggles, can we just do a wool defense and you buy water? Do we need endstone? Like, look at that. Crimson, 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 Crimson. There is no P there. That would be Crimson. It's Crimson. Crimson, 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 Crimson. I'm blocking you guys. When are we getting 5K weekly floors, Jediah? When are you gonna stop dreaming about things that are never happening? I quit bedwars. The dream is dead, Jediah. Every time you think of some stupid idea like that, Jediah, just read my Discord name. I see you playing Bed Wars. The dream is dead! Jedi, we're playing with Phoebe later, if Phoebe's sober. Just thought I'd LMK. I thought I'd let me know that we're playing later, alright? Yeah, true. That's so true. Flake, you can't talk. You hate me. Why are all my friends stoners? Actually, I know why. Because this world is terrible, and why would you want to be sober? Why do my friends do drugs? Janaya, I have bad news for you. I turn 21 soon, and I do not plan on... Of course you would think that. Of course I would think what? Like doing a Hagashi type of performance? No, I'm not doing a Hagashi type of performance. I just want to have the ability to turn my brain off. I just died with everything. But I forgot I had a competent teammate. Yes! Is Snuggles not good enough to kill someone on full health on 8 HP? Huh. What happened to the Snuggles I once knew? It was Sides test. Good one. I can just turn mine off at any point. They're hacking? Don't you guys agree with what I just typed? Nah, she's playing on an office mouse. Flake, do I wait for do I bet on you being sober tomorrow, or do I upload it with no thumbnail today? I'm in the fucking trampoline. That one's kind of hard to estimate. Okay, so just upload it today with no thumbnail. I'm like a bike? I thought you were like a burger. I can't keep up with all this, Sock. Too tired? I don't get it, Sock. Can you explain the joke? I'm banning you guys. Basically, explain Flake. Dead Fisher, how's your transformation going? Why is someone in my game quoting Reagan? Oh, double Nick on Pink quoting Reagan? It's over for us, Snuggles. We're getting a lot of good quotes. Dead Fish Show, can we redirect some funds to fund some guerrilla warfare? I've heard reports that when he was in offense, he was just really incompetent. And just kind of just like everyone do what they wanted, and he kind of just like was a yes man. Who was at the highest game, just like, what the? Yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying, where it's like... Reese locked in? No, that guy's just a robot. Like, it's over here. Unless Snuggles, like, kills two. At least this team doesn't, the team we're fighting doesn't understand the concept of diamonds. That makes it really nice. Wait, is this Google Wallet? How do you know this is Google Wallet? Oh wait, that's his nick, isn't it? But that was bad looks. Why aren't they just getting diamonds back? He was on one. Tragedy. Hey Snuggles, let's run to our side base. Why are you saying en Reese like Snuggles isn't about to salmon the whole map? Snuggles is better than you? Tell me something I don't know. Bye, Snuggles. They're very rich. I just want Snuggles the salmon. That's all I'm hoping for in this world. They're putting in obby. Hello, Spooky. Oops, I fell into the water. Being deep is actually better, though. I can't swim. Can I, like, functionally swim? What the hell? Snuggles, they're both on me. Okay, one died. Both died. Just leave, just leave. I don't wanna fight, pretty pissed up, bit crushed, side a piece of paper, now I'm swished up. I'm not anxious, we're playing with like we should be dead already, like I don't care. Who won't lose? Oh yeah, Google won't lose, you're right. Oh, Snuggles is so hack. That's been fact checked by true patriots, Nikki. True American patriots, sorry. No! I'm so sad. It's okay, Snuggles. You're playing on an office mouse and look at how much of their time we wasted. It's Jover? Probably. But you don't believe in me? Very smart of you. Would you like a snack? You can make an umbrella at mid? Whatever that means. People only have the rights that I choose to give them. That's for their own good. Can you not fireball him towards me, Red? I worked so hard to get the distance that I gained. Beef wrap. I just can't get stuff. Everyone else just wants to get stuff, which, like, respectable. Oh, to have a unicorn. Did that guy pot? Yeah. He fell down. Red is just everywhere I go, I can't escape them! What the fireball jump? Oops. Whatever. Snuggles, I got away using water, and that was the highlight of my game. After that, I just wanted to run around. They could have made the game so much easier if they just got diamonds the moment they, like... The moment they just got, like, a semblance of pressure. Like, why'd they make that game so much harder on themselves? They took out their first rush, and instead of getting diamonds and just, like, getting prot and just forever having an advantage, they decided to just both send us. That was the only reason it was close at all. I'm hating on them for winning. Because they could have won better. Do I care, Flake? I lost to somebody who hacks. I'm just saying if you're gonna hack, don't be dumb. Like, you should have more, like, room in your brain to process bedwars decisions if you don't have to click, right? Or worry about where anyone is. But instead, we're double rushing teams and failing and making our games go long. Like, I'm just trying to help them, you know, Flake? But you're right. I'm trying to... I'm just insecure. That's probably what it truly is deep down. Nice, Flake. I hope you panic more, loser. I didn't mean that, Flake. I'm just taking out my insecurities on you. Oh my god. So close, Rip. No, I just feel like calling you a loser, Flake. I'm not angry. Happy Andy? Yeah. Oh my god, Snuggles is having fun. Please die with stuff. Thank you. No. Just look at the draw. Hi, Snuggles. It's okay, your mouse is broken. You're playing on an office mouse. Well... Well, Blue's bed's gone to gray. This is when you shout the good old well played, because they decided that killing you is more important than their bed.
You time whip up the bow yet or not?
Nah, it's not time yet. Hey, Urchin's like high-level prestigious and intelligence level you have to reach to be able to like understand it, Sock. I can see that cuts deep and makes you jealous, though. Lingray has diamond armor? What the hell? There is no joke. Urkin is like high-level bedwars players with the highest level of intelligence. It's a very prestigious group that people like me and Sock will never be like lucky enough to understand. Oh, is that it? Oh, is it that? Yeah, no, it's just, I mean, like, they're like the bedwars, like, think about, like, the government, and, like, you know, how everyone in the government isn't really intelligent, because you have to be really smart to be in the government. It's like that. So they're like the bedwars government, like, ruling over, like, the citizens. So, I mean, Sock will agree with me, so it's like... Where's the other gray? Oh, there's the other guy. I could have unicorned their base, right? I just don't think I might have, like, stuff on him, and I want to, like, kill them with stuff. Yeah, I see that. I don't want them to have all the emeralds. I feel like it's a better play to try and kill this guy than to break their bed. Oh, that guy was poor. Now I know they, like, at least have no emeralds on them, so I can just run around until that guy leaves. Show me when the other guy leaves. I don't want to go. That's what would make her go. I'm just gonna sit the diamond gen because, like, be my guess. I can't click. I've got imposter syndrome, and yes, it really hurts. But you have great potential. To me, I am the worst. I'm not what you signed up for. I don't give you the chance. You left me so I know. Something that should have prayed for you since I've been saying almost 5 years. It's not a game. Feel like you love me less, and I feel as if I'm to blame. Sorry, I just love me better. It's my fault when you get hurt. Guess that's why I get the worst. Who is the president of Urkin Bedwars? Sock, who's the president of Urkin Bedwars? Like, who's this, you know, because, like, again, the president is always the smartest person, so who's the smartest person in the Urkin staff team? Like, who's the head honcho? It's Yurchin? No, it's Urkin. I'm saying it wrong. They don't deserve me saying it right. Exactly. So it's... Feel like you love me less than I feel as if I'm to blame. Feel like you love me better. It's my fault when you get hurt. Nothing the best for you, I guess that's why I get the worst. Nothing but the best for you, Nikki. Is that why I get the worst? I always give you the best and I get the worst in return. Wait, they coded it with AI? Are really watering nons? Does your watering have limits? Is it not equal water for everybody? You discriminate on it whether people should be watered or not based on their talent? Maybe you need to look deep within your heart and notice why are you discriminating against people. So me and Snuggles, we're equal opportunity waterers. We don't pick and choose who to water and who we don't water. Do you ever need a reason to discriminate? There's no reason to discriminate ever. Is calling a leftist the right-wing grifter rage bait? I don't know, depends. Are they a right-wing grifter? It depends what kind of leftists there are. A lot of leftists are just, like, deeply rooted in being, like, right, and, like, right as in, like, correct and not actually, like, anything else. And then there's also, like, just a lot of, like, they just want to be opposition to the, like, the right regardless, you know? It's like, yeah, the right's, like, wrong, like, 99.9% of the time, but even if they got, like, one right, they would still just, like, say they're wrong because it's the right. So, I mean, like, those two people probably would both get rage baited by it. And then a level-headed person, they probably just wouldn't care. She was probably better than you. He was probably better than you too, Flake. Wait, look what song's playing again, WinY. Which, like, both of those, like, two things that I said, both kind of, like, can, like, be evened out to just they like the belief of being right. Where it's, like, one ideology they think is one more right, and then the other one is they just think the ideology is just right. You know, like, it's just the correct ideology, so whatever the other ideology does is never going to be right. Ooh, Double Nick's yellowed that I said something to him before the game started. Who's being xenophobic? Reese is a xenophobe? What? Snuggles, they rushed the wrong way, dog. I'm leaving you to deal with green, because they didn't even rush green. And they just get diamonds. Yeah. How do you know that Nyx? Because Q_zombie and Q_noob are both just blatant Nyx with Nyx skins. Who? Who plays with who? Yeah, the bedwars president told me they were Nyx. And I follow everything the bedwars president tells me. Wow, they're playing this map so wrong. I could just mid-rush them after I take out Gray. Wait, who's the bedwars president? The AI. That coded, Irkin. There you go. Keep saying it wrong, just for you. Oh wait, no, yellow's mid-rushing us. Lol. I'm nothing, I'm poor. Oh, okay, thank you. Cause I was spam clicking. If I want my hits to register, I should stop spam clicking. Do you think Erkin taught that one? Snuggles, just build up and stall if you can. I'm bridging watering them from mid. Or that. That also works. You made one run back. Yeah, I know. But they both ran back. Nice. I'm gonna get fireballed too now. I'm holding both. I took the trap as well. Alright, whatever, I should have added that. No, not the holiday spirit. Just keep going through green. I'll keep going through mid. I mean, like, we have so much pressure. We have a trap, just chase. We should... I love watching Locked In race. You think I'm locked in? I just jumped on a bed with a water. This team is terrible. Don't ever accuse me of being locked in against Q_zombie ever again. Like, I'm actually offended you suggested that I'm locked in right now. He clutches these. 5 HP. He's gonna get away. I believe in him. Yeah, Snuggles probably like walk off or something, so. I'm never a big fan of like when I like place blocks in front of a player and then like the block like instantly starts breaking, but like they have their sword in their hand. That always like makes me very suspicious, you know? But maybe that's misguided mistrust. Reese, don't get mad, I'm always mad. NT Flake. Reese, can you be happy? No, because you ruined my day, Flake. It's all your fault I'm not happy. I'm unhappy, Flake? Shut the fuck up! You didn't ruin my day. Okay, to be fair, Sock, you kinda got fucking mogged. You got diagonal rush on Meso. Like, you got mogged. Don't lie. They're good at swinging at a block and to start breaking at the moment of block place. Very common trait with people using the automated clicking. Thank you for game. Wow, Snuggles got scammed. Snuggles only played 4 games. But that was enough bedwars for Snuggles. Affy would never, Affy would never automate clicks. Affy would also never make a cum tribute to someone his profile picture either. That was 5? Wait, was it 5? I swear it was 4. Oh, Nabuk, Cliffside, Ambush, Deadwood, Keep. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Nabuk game. Affy made a picture of, like, some streamer. Like, a picture of some streamer, like, that some guy had, like, you know... He made that his profile picture. Actually, no, Affy would never make that his profile picture. Yeah. Affy would never do that, sorry. Sorry, I'm... Sock, I hope you get banned for going to the barriers. Oops. Has everyone practiced their L head hitters today? Sock, I'm mad at you. And you know why I'm mad at you, so I don't need to say why I'm mad at you, so. But I don't hope you get banned even though I'm mad at you, but I am mad at you. I did 100 when I woke up? Okay, good. I can't triple place while moving? Okay, I have to ban you. The requirement to be able to talk in my stream chat is you have to be able to, like, do L head hitters. I practice in creative method, LMK. Ooh. I didn't do any L hitters this morning, but I beat tracked in bed fight. So it's basically like the same amount of like manual labor. Like we're probably the same amount of labor. Who's tracked? The best player ever. Nah, there'll be no parkour today. I quit parkour. Anything that reminds me of Sock, I can't do. That's why I don't play bedwars anymore. What do you guys, like, do, like, when you come up with, like, the greatest idea ever, and then, like, nobody sees the vision, so, like, you can't even put it into place, and your company would have made, like, trillions, but, like... You know, nobody saw the vision. Leave and start your own company? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about doing. I swear! I'd be listening to the same songs over and over. Suck! I genuinely don't even want a KD farm. I genuinely just want to attempt the map. I genuinely, like, was like... No, this is my like songs on shuffle. Flake. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm so confused. Out of, it's not 10K, it's like, it's 1.7. I don't have that many like songs. It's 1.7, but still. Suck, I genuinely said I wanted to, like, play normally on the map. Like, I would play like a normal player. I just wanted to see how we would play. And the first thing that I added on to, like, doing is, like, I wanted to bow, because I genuinely, in my heart of hearts, was like, well, if I just bow, how would we ever lose? And it wasn't because I care about the KD part of it. If anything, if you wanted a KD farm in 3s, bowing is suboptimal. Because when do you get kills? No, I don't play bedwars. No, I'm mad at Sock. Sock doesn't care about me. I'm just being really annoying to Sock. Sock isn't the angry one. I'm the one who's being really annoying to Sock. Please don't misconstrue this as Sock being angry at me. It's me being angry at Sock and then being really annoying to her. Fuck you, you don't get my emeralds. Esteli, but like you're Esteli, when do you go to sleep? That's the issue. Wait, I didn't know this guy was mechanical like that. Swallowed. Sharp Prot 2 double bridge egg? Esteli just airs my question because Esteli hates me. That says a lot about society. I asked, when do you go to sleep? I didn't want to waste both my emeralds. Do you know what Dewey's majoring in? No, do you know? I don't talk to Dewey or see Pugshot at all anymore. They switched back to the other server again, and I don't even have pugs in that server. And I don't know who to ask for pugs, so I'm just pugless in the server that they're active in. Oh, like now? Yeah, see, you're useless to play bedwars with. Ask Dewey for pugs. I've asked Dewey for pugs the last 2 times I got my pugs taken. I don't feel like asking for him again. I wake up in like 3 hours. So you sleep for 3 hours? Why am I saying this? I'm not playing bedwars anyways. I quit bedwars. When's map rotation? Isn't that supposed to be on Mondays? It's on Tuesdays now? Will you grind party game ties with me? Is that what you want to do, Sock? Sock, there's nothing fun to do on Hypixel, and that's why I finally found an idea that might be entertaining, and you depressed me by shutting it down. Just thought I'd LMK that. Why is nothing fun on this server? Like, God forbid I'm so bored I'm playing Skywars on Rue's account. You don't get to know the idea. You're not tapped in. Only those who are tapped in get to know the idea. There's UHC? Sock. This is generally what happens. I log on. I'm like, I don't want to play UHC. So then I try to find something else to do. I queue a couple games, I get a couple quests, because I'm close to network level 400. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be touching quests. And then I get bored again, and I'm like, well, there's always UHC. And then I queue a UHC, I find no diamonds, and I just mine down the bedrock in DC. That's my day on Hypixel. And then I repeat it again. Maybe I get on Rue's account. Maybe I get off for a little bit. And then it always ends up with me back in Hypixel UHC, not finding diamonds, digging down to bedrock to DC, and save the KD. Holy moly. Get on Rue's account, dirty cheater? That's not cheating, that's account sharing. You could say dirty rule breaker, but that's more steps than me. Yeah, Sock, you get on and decide what game mode do I want to solo queue. And then if you're not solo queuing, like, doubles, then you're queuing solo and going to the barriers. And then if you're not doing that, it's because someone asked you to play bedwars. And then if you're not doing that, you're watching something on YouTube or Twitch to try to find dopamine. Am I wrong? Did I miss a step? I need more dopamine? Well, Sock, once it's a good doubles rotation, we can play doubles. Unicorns in rotation. I don't want to play Ashfire with unicorn in rotation. When are we getting that stream? That's off-stream content. It has to be, like... This is the thing that, like, sucks. Like, I mean, I don't mind not really playing bedwars, but... It has to be, like, perfect, like, rotational items plus, like, map rotation if I'm playing my main. Bippy told me she loves Zen Plaza last night, so I'm never playing Zen Plaza ever again. That opened my eyes to never playing Zen Plaza ever again. And that's why I DM'd you, Esteli, saying you lied to me. No, you said nobody queues Zen Plaza. Like you said, like you kind of implied nobody worth worrying about queues Zen Plaza, but like I'm pretty sure Bippy and company are bedwars terrorists that I'm worried about queuing on Zen Plaza. We know the map that isn't infested! Zen Plaza's still probably better off than Kubo, though. Can you not say my friend Sock hates us? Which map isn't infested? That's a good question. I don't know. What map isn't infested, Estelle? I just find it, like, the funniest part about it is, Estelle, is we're being so cringe and, like, speaking in codes. And then, like, we're, like, blatantly being cringe and speaking in codes, and then Inheritance just goes, oh, what are you guys trying to say? I should just DC it, that's not what it happens. Just fight the cheaters? Not efficient for winning games without losing! Nah, Missing Code runs Nostalgia 3s. Don't you dare talk about Missing Code's parties not being good. I wonder if this guy's gonna fireball jump. Just get better? I'm trying to get better. It's not like I'm implying that I'm not gonna like encounter hackers. I'm trying to have the map down to minimalize it so I don't have to play them every game. That guy's gonna break my bed. It's yeah. Oh no, he fell off. What happened to going to sleep, Estelle? Yeah, and I bet they all took their first final deaths to Missing Code. Sock, is Missing Code the president of bedwars? Whatever safe queue means. President Bedwars is Jediah? Nah, Jediah's a loser. Don't talk about Jediah like that. I'm mad at Jediah. I haven't decided why I'm mad at Jediah yet. But Jediah said he wouldn't play with Estelle. Why? Because your name sounds too much like a cheater name. And he doesn't want to get banned. Who's Donald Trump? I think if you're blatant enough, one person in your party can get you banned. Why'd that Aqua guy make them rich? It's a strike system? Damn, so I was right. I hope Nikki hears that. Rue's here. Time to end. Hi, Rue. Someone's playing threes with me tonight, though, and I don't know who, but I'm figuring it out. Me? Oh, don't! What does that mean, Rue? Sock, so we're playing threes tonight? Yep. Oh my god, Sock, you're back on my good side. Yeah, what does Yandy mean? Okay, I'll see you guys at like 10 p.m. tonight. Mark your calendars. Yeah, Yandy Diaz. That's how I say it. I say it like Yandy. Are we getting that stream? I don't know how many times I'm gonna tell Inheritance. No. Is that EST? That's EST. Yeah, 10 p.m. EST. Whoever's there gets to play bedwars with me. Yeah, off-camera grinding. I mean, I'll probably be clipping. But I won't be streaming. Dog, I don't know how many times I have to tell you this. Like, Inheritance, you're begging for something I literally have said multiple times is not happening. There's so many reasons. I'll be in a Discord call with my teammates. I love watching you play, though. If only you loved the job that much. Clipping for the 1K montage? No, clipping for the 347 montage. Yeah, just watch recent older videos. I'm uploading a video today. When I end stream, I'm uploading a video today. I missed the Discord restreams during class. Yeah, but you see, like, if my sleep schedule was like that still, right next to Nikki would probably kill me. Oh, I was streaming that yesterday, wasn't I? This team's gonna beat me because they're pussies. Streamer, oh my god, Carly! Whatever, Reese. What? You know, you should learn to be thankful. You should learn to be thankful that I get on my alt and solo queue bedwars for 2 hours a day. I made it? Hi, Carly. How are you? Did you just wake up, Carly, or like... I'm so poor, I'm gonna die to this guy. I shouldn't be chasing this, he's just getting rich. Wait, no, we skipped the M-Gen. I'm just gonna peel off then. What about you, streamer? I think me and Sock are best friends again, so life is good. Because Sock's like one of my top 3 favorite people. I had to hate Sock for all of yesterday, and it was very hard on my psyche. I work at Walmart, Reese. Whatever that means. Flake thinks I'm terrible. Maybe you are terrible, Rhynex. But you know, that doesn't mean you aren't a great person. So, value what really matters. I still feel like a burger. Are we still best friends, Sock? Like, are we best friends again? Do you feel like a burger? I had a burger for dinner 2 days ago. Can someone be my best friend? Hench, you're up there. This guy's invis on me, by the way. Never mind. I thought like I saw him disappear. I'm better at doubles right now than I've ever been, to be fair. Well, I'm worse at everything than I've ever been. Like, I forgot how to, like, talk to people. I got worse at that. Like, I don't know. Something happened to me, you know? Yeah, Sock's already my best friend. Or, like, we could be best friends, hench. But I already have a best friend. All I do is solo queue doubles Flake. Remember when that guy stole that nick from my best friend? Rue, so I'm boring to you? What's up, Sock? Oh, are you telling... So he's just a stolen nick? Rhinix, you have a doubles teammate? I have multiple doubles teammates, but I don't like any of them. Mine just don't play? Maybe it's because you like them. If you didn't like them, they'd play with you. Can I be your teammate? I've never played with you before, Rue. I have to assess you. Flake, you're saying that, but Phoebe genuinely just offered to play bedwars with me last night just out of the blue. Because I said my dream was dead. Is that a punch bow? No, it's a... This guy's an idiot, but I'm like playing as idiotic games with him. That's so funny. I just made him waste 3 golems. It's like Soul King, but I'm your teammate. So it's like playing with Nikki, but you don't have tracers. And by tracer, I mean visuals. We can play doubles at some point. But I don't know how much bedwars I'm really gonna play with my life. I have things to do. Like, how many diamonds do I have? You can never have too many best friends. Truer words have never been spoken. Yeah, I have my shows to watch. Well, we have Viv and Liv. Haha, I'm funny. You have how many diamonds? Yeah. Yeah, Viv and Liv. Duo of Doom? Yeah, exactly. Guys, what happens if I get 4 more diamonds? Tell Ray that that's fucking mid. And then if he starts calling you V, you're gonna start calling him R. Ha! How many diamonds? How many diamonds? How many diamonds? How many diamonds? Yo, dude, thank you for the gifted sub to Brandon! I just bursted out laughing. I like how this guy's like using I just burst out laughing when he probably has no clue what it means. Like, let's be honest, like his teammate probably had to like go look it up. I don't care about the extra emeralds! Say one more word and I will crucify you! I was doing a cashless clutch yesterday. Yeah, I was too busy to join the voice call with you losers. I was hanging out with somebody way cooler than all of you. Did you clutch, Sock? What the hell is a treasure train? Can he stop using I just bursted out laughing so poorly? Like, I used it terribly to fit in him, but he's just forcing it. Like, this guy does realize, like, I don't care. Would you rather gain muscle or gain knee? I want to lose muscle. Which I have been. That was tough? I'm not tough, I'm annoyed at this guy. He's a hypocrite. He's sitting in his generator while I'm running around trying to fight him, saying that I'm the one trying incredibly hard. You know, that's kind of what happens. You kind of lose your muscle mass. You're right, Flake. Oh, I don't have enough arrows for this. How does he lose that? How the fuck do you lose that? I'm so mad. I don't even like feel like I like successfully won a bedwars game. Oh my god. Like how do Yeah, I know, and then I queue Google Wallet. Like, here's why I explain why you're mad. Because that guy did nothing but talk and talk and talk and talk. So I literally I W-keyed him to end the game. And then he gets out-hit so fucking mightily with heal pool and golems, and then I run out of arrows, and it's just like... And then what does he do after the game ends? He keeps talking! Wait! Wait, this guy spends time in the creative world! Oh, I should ditch my bed. He spends time in the creative world. Hey, Sandwich. What? My bed's gone? I'm doing good. How are you doing? Oops, I messed up. Whatever. What type of strat is this? Those who know. I recognize that, Nick. I don't know, has Google Wallet committed acts of terrorism on you before? It's so fun. Identical image, oh my god. I should just end on that. That was so fun. I'm happy that, like, they just have to deal with that. How many finals? Ah, 6-7! The moment I saw that guy building unnecessary L head hitters at mid, I knew I didn't care to try enough to try and do anything that game. Like, I saw him building L head hitters to get the emeralds. Which, like, there's literally no fucking point. Because the fourth emerald, or the second round of emeralds wasn't even close to spawning, so what the fuck are we in a hurry for? Like, and we're just building L head hitters for the fuck of it. Like... Is that the guy who his teammate is? What was his teammate? Who the fuck was his teammate that time when he, like, auto-tooled against me? Like, Mickey. What's Mickey? Is that Mickey, or what's Mickey's IGN? Oh, same person? Ah. He voiced them exclusively romantic? I shouldn't be making fun of someone's voice. It's not very ethical of me. But they hack on me in bedwars, so, like, what is... Well, one of them does. I don't know what the other one does. He kind of just exists. Blue has so much aura. Can we talk about it? Does Mindcat deserve his voice to get made fun of just because he plays with the hacker? Like, that's not... That's not very woke of me. Yes, yes. Huh. You guys don't follow my morals. He does deserve better. Yes, Minecat is a guy, Flake. Morals are overrated and subjective. I don't think morals are overrated. No, that is a guy. Trust me, my whole entire worldview was broken when I saw it as well. I mean, the only reason I have an issue with them is because they wasted like an hour of my life because they got me blacklisted in a server while their teammate was auto-tooling. Wow, he has so much aura. I wish I could play with tiltings. People too emotional sometimes, or am I geeked? No, this bedwars shit is serious. I mean, I could play with tilting if I want to. I just don't care to ask him to play. I mean, in general, though? I don't know. I don't think so. I think being emotional is good. I think the issue is that we view being emotional as a bad thing, and we view it as irrational when it's just like, that's the normal human response, and we should embrace it, but also understand that people are being emotional. I think the idea of trying to resist emotional responses is an actual good practice, because everyone actually does have emotional responses to things. So then when you tell them to try and hold those back, I mean, it's because then they become more harmful, because again they get bottled up, and then it becomes one big you know. I've played with tiltings multiple times. I just don't care to. I still look you on my ult all day. I make tiltings really mad when I do double wool and buy water first rush, and then he goes and places endstone. He doesn't really get mad. He just says nothing and then shears the first layer of wool and replaces it with endstone. And it's a really fun game we get to play. Well, you can't let your emotions cloud your judgment, but they do. Your emotions do cloud your judgment, Winwhy. You're lying to yourself to say that your own biases and emotions don't factor into your judgments, which actually leads to you making worse decisions if you don't identify the fact you have emotions. If you just try to shove it all away and say I'm being too emotional, then you're going to make bad decisions more often, because you're not actually factoring in the fact that you are feeling an emotional response. That's why you need to be able to be emotional and identify that the response you're having is emotional. And if you can't do that, then your emotions are going to influence your decisions even more. Bye, Sock. I'll tell me you're a huge fan. Please don't tell Tiltings I'm a huge fan. I hate that guy. Look, it depends on the situation. Well, do you mean heart? But that's also the point is that decisions shouldn't be made in the heart of the moment. Yeah. But the point is that you're supposed to be able to have emotional responses, Winwhy, so you can identify when you're being emotional, so you don't respond just because of your emotions. But if you can't identify when you're being emotional, it leads to you making more emotional decisions. Hey, Mr. K. Thanks for looking. Good luck spreading free binders around the campus. Yeah, do people respond with their emotions too much? Yeah. But it also stems from this idea that it's bad to be emotional, so they don't actually know how to handle it when they are emotional, because... And then they make a lot of mistakes in the moment. So, I mean, sure. I have no arrows. Oh my god, the teammate fireballed it from mid. Big guy? It's my favorite auto-tooler. Hello, Gen.com. Hello! Do you like my water? Do you enjoy the swim? How's the stream going? Stream's going fine. What the bow? Yeah, the water's sick, bro. Good, I'm glad you enjoyed the swim. Because I enjoyed the swim too, it's fun. You're goated at salmoning? Not really. I always fall out of the water. I need to lock in salmon more. You know who's good at it? Jedi is good at it. Good night, Flake, sleep well. Not letting your emotions cause your judgment just means you recognize when you're being influenced by emotions, yeah. But again, I think the issue about it is I mean, I think it's especially true in like the culture of like being masculine and like being like a man is to like very deeply rooted in not letting your emotions show, so you don't actually know how to handle your emotions. So I mean, I never really salmon in Skywars. I think Snuggles just did it one time, and then Jediah kept doing it, and now I do it, and there's benefits to actually watering everything when you're trying to do it, but I'm just watering things to water things. There's no crying in baseball. Like, exactly. That's like such like a detrimental like idea. Yeah, I should play like a 50-year-old dad. Bye, Inheritance. Thanks for being here. That's what's missing in my playstyle. I'm not playing like enough of a 50-year-old dad. So I think that's kind of just what I'm saying win-wise. Like, people, like, a lot of, like, I don't know, it's, like, a very common, like, the male culture to, like, be told to, like, not feel your emotions or bottle your emotions away or don't be emotional. So they never actually learn how to process their emotions, so they influence their decisions even more. I like how I don't have sharp. Wait, my teammate's up here. Wait, I blocked the hit for my teammate. P4 no sharp is so fun. Really? Good luck on your speed builders. So yeah, I would say that there's too many decisions when why that are made because people don't learn how to like process their emotions. So did you get feather falling? Well, I should have just not gotten bored and pushed them and just gotten the 2 M's and ran, but I got bored, so there's a lot of things I could have done, but I just got bored, so I pushed them. Thanks, Real Mind Cat. Well, it's just the whole... I mean, I don't know. I mean, like... I watched a TikTok this morning that, like, this guy talks about, like, the whole reason, like... that, like, the male loneliness epidemic isn't really a real thing, and men don't really feel lonely. The issue is that, like, men just, like, don't learn how to process any of their emotions, and, like, you know, they put that away from a really young age. So then, when they try to find, like, you know, a woman to rely on to be able to, like, actually be able to feel those emotions, because they're not allowed to do it any other time. So when they aren't allowed to do that, it feels lonely. Because they aren't actually, like, taught to, like, really, like, you know, feel their emotions on their own, or that it's okay to feel their emotions on their own. Bedwars is boring now unless you win before Diamond 2. That's so not true. The longer the game goes, the more fun it is. Oops, I did forgot to place my black. Well, because fear. There are not a lot of men who fear it. There's a lot of men whose quote unquote loneliness is not caused by their quote unquote fear. Probably too much nuance to it too. I mean, like, I'll send you the TikTok after my stream, and I'll force you to watch the whole minute-long TikTok that's longer than a minute. Hi, where am I? I'm sorry, but based on my interactions with how men act, there's very few men who actually really deep down, like, struggle with that. After watching the way that men have acted towards my cousin, like, a week after she got cheated on, I mean, I really don't have, like, any sympathy for, like, men's quote-unquote fear of rejection. Hi, where I'm at. I also hate men, so I'm, like, the last person who is gonna, like, give them sympathy, because, again, we exist under patriarchy. Does the patriarchy just stop once it comes to the dating market? Like, this is, like, some, like, flawed belief that they've, like, made people believe, where it's like, no, you know, men are in control of, like, everything in society. But the moment it comes to dating, you know, that's when they really lose it. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me, that belief. Like, why would the dating market be where that all breaks down? And I think it's deeply just rooted in because the dating market is actually one of the few places where, like, women nowadays actually have, like, an equal say in what happens to them, and, like, you know, they actually, like, you know, it's a 50-50. I think a lot of the, like, quote-unquote women who hate men don't really, like, hate all men. It's more of, like, the system that men operate under that is hated. As in the whole manosphere and, like, the idea of masculinity and all that shit. Yeah, but that's the whole standing of it though, is like the idea that, like, you need to hit on a girl, like, that's like the way, or it's like you need to, like, some people aren't cut out for that, and it's not everybody is cut from the same cloth. Some people, the way for you to, you know, get into a relationship with somebody is just get to know them first. If walking up to somebody and asking them out isn't something you're cut up for, then there's other avenues to go. Like, that's kind of the idea, is that you don't need to, to form a relationship, it's not all about just walking up to somebody and, you know, asking them out, because I don't really know. I truly don't believe that's the best way to form a relationship. It's to get to know somebody first. Because that's a culture that's, like, deeply rooted in, like, the objectification of somebody. You know, being like, well, this person looks good. But it comes from a justified place, but you need solidarity for a non-oppressed group to create change. Yeah, you might be right about what women are hating, but I still think it often results in amnesty towards men. Yeah, but again... But then if the men hate the women, is it on the women to stop hating the men, or the men to do things to make them stop being hated? I don't know. If they're the ones in control, it's different. It'd be different if like one is the ruling class, if like women were the ones in like the ruling class, and we didn't live under patriarchy. But we live under patriarchy, so like I don't know. Well, there you go. That's the whole point. Is I mean. Love and relationships are hard to begin with, and that's, again, something that becomes even harder if you're taught growing up it's not okay to show your emotions and, like, stuff like that. That just becomes harder. I don't know. What is the female hatred for men really ever really lead to? A lot of women say they hate men, but still end up trying to have relationships with them. It's not like they're giving up on them. They just hate the way that they get treated by the men they have met. I don't know. And it's also like it doesn't just like it's not like it just stems into the dating market too. I mean, the ability to not convey your emotion also stems into fatherhood, and it affects both sons and daughters, because you know you have a bunch of a lot of fathers who just grow up really not being able to talk about how they feel, and then again that reflects back onto the kid, which then in turn repeats and plays out again in the next market of dating, and so on and so on. Because then that also just, like, deeply, like, you know, that also deeply stems towards, the woman wanting to actually get validated by a man because their father was not able to convey their emotions to them. Like, that's a very common practice within the dating scene. I don't know, because I think deep down when why a lot of these people still give men a chance. Well, I think the idea is that you want most actions to be conductive to good or change, even though, again, these are emotional responses to getting hurt. A lot of the time. But I think that's why my idea is, like, I don't know what is it on... Because, like, this becomes the question when why, that, like... What is it on for the women to change about how they're being treated poorly? Like, again, there is 100% shortcomings, and relationships are always 50-50, and I'm not going to say that in a lot of these relationships the woman is perfect, and then it leads towards the relationship, like, falling out just because she was perfect and the guy, like, failed. Like, I'm not going to say that. But if they feel like they're being mistreated in relationships, like, then what is it to change? Like, I like, in their minds. Which then the issue would be if the men change and they truly are able to identify that they're the issues in their relationship, it really changes the dynamic. But again, as a man, all you can focus would be on is to change your act. You cannot control other people. And it's also, again, the men are the oppressing class in this scenario. If it was even, then I would agree with you that, like, the hate doesn't do anything. And again, some of the hate is probably still wrong and not helpful. Well, I just paragraphed it in send, right? I mean, I'm fine. I'm not like I'm interested to see what you think. I mean, right, Nix, that's kind of my idea. Yeah, but it's not on the, that'd be like saying we shouldn't hate billionaires because it's just gonna make the billionaires hate the poor people more. Like, if you want to, like, put it in that way. Like, wow, these people are treating us terribly and they are the ruling class, you know? We should just give them a slide because they're just gonna hate us more, where it's like, they're already treating you terribly. What's like, is that what you're supposed to do? You're supposed to settle and accept it for, like, being bad? Like, And like, that'd be like a billionaire being like, oh, all these people hate me. Like, I would just be nicer to them if they just didn't hate me. Where it's like, if there's a lot of people who hate you for the ways you act, you should identify deep down what causes the ways that it plays out that way. And yeah, and again, is it wrong to hate all men for it? Yes. But is there really that many cases of women who hate all men? I truly don't believe that. But I mean, that's the risk of a relationship. And also, Sandwich, my whole point in that is that stems from men not being able to share and talk about how they feel. If we have a society where where men are openly able to talk about how they feel, they're able to let on their fears. Taking up space and having fears is not a bad thing and is required for a healthy relationship. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you can't from the beginning ask them if they're leading you on or something like that, or ask them how they feel about you and talk about the feelings of the relationship, then you're not someone who should be in it, is going to be having a successful relationship, because you have to be able to talk about your fears. You have to be able to take up space in the relationship. Your reasoning can't be, well, I'm scared to scare them off if I take up space, or what if they're just leading me on? It's if you have a romantic interest in this person, you have to be able to be open in saying that that's what your intentions are. And if the other person's not that intentions, again, the whole idea that you have to go in shooting blind is a bad idea. But that's the thing, Sandwich, is some relationships don't work out, and you have to accept that. That happens for both sides. That relationships not working out for whatever reasons is not a male issue. That's a relationship issue. And some relationships are going to run their course or not last, and that's how it goes. And I mean, there's a lot of things like that. I mean, if you're going to be in a relationship with somebody, you have to be able to talk about how you feel and express your emotions, which do from the very beginning include talking about your intentions with them. You can also... Okay, I'm gonna say this again. The way men are perceived, I entirely blame men for. Yeah, sure, I'm not gonna blame the men who are showing their feelings in that instance, but let's talk about, how a lot of men from past generations grew up under the exact same guidance of don't show your emotions, it's weak and stuff like that. So then a lot of these women grow up with a dad who also doesn't show emotions. So then when a guy does show emotions to them, that is something that they're uncomfortable with and not used to and don't know how to handle. So some people do respond to that negatively. Yeah, exactly what Rynick said. Don't date those people. That's the type of person who, again, is damaged from... Yeah, but we have to talk about what past generations have done and talk about the effects on the current generation. Yes, you still blame the past generations for it, but it's not again, you're trying to reshift the blame to the women who say you on the men issue, where it's that came from the same past generations on why men, don't talk about their emotions. It all stems from the same place of what the idea of what being a man is, which is just a bad precedent in entirety. Wait, I got the bed? Yeah, but then there's no point in bringing up the women who respond poorly to a man showing his emotions, because again, like, there's some people who aren't able to handle other people showing their emotions, which again is a trait that isn't just a man problem, but it is way more of a man problem. Sure, I agree, hate is bad, but I think what you also, like, I don't know, maybe I say this as, like, you know, a lot of it being in, like, I don't know, a lot of your beliefs probably do come and stem from being in deeply male spaces where a lot of women who say they hate men don't really hate men. They're just upset about how they've been treated, so they say the catchy line of, I hate men. But there isn't really, I don't think, that many women out there who are leading this charge of fight of hate of men. They're just very upset about the way they've been treated. Cause like, I mean, again, my cousin will go on and tell me about, like, my cousin will go on about, like, how she hates men, and I'll be like, well, you know, there's a male loneliness epidemic, and then she goes, they're not lonely enough. And then, like, 2 days later, she's, like, going on a date with a guy. So it really isn't, it isn't really a hatred of all men, it's a disdain with how men have treated them. And they really do their best to not reflect it back onto all men, but again, if a girl treated you poorly, would it be hard to go into your next relationship and just act like that didn't happen and be like a girl didn't wrong you? Like, that would damage you, that would cause trauma. And that's basically the way that women talk about the you know, the things that have happened to them by the hand of a man, by just expressing it with some catchy phrase of saying, oh, I hate men. It isn't really a true disdain for them, it's a disdain for the way they were treated. I'm sorry, Sandwich, but these are just extreme cases. I really don't think most people react that way. I think these are things that, like, the media highlights into you to play into your victim complex of being a man. Yeah, exactly. Which is, again, why you hear a lot more cases of, like, things like that when it's really not really, like, a common issue. People doing, like, heinous and, like, outlandish things get highlighted. People doing the norm doesn't get talked about, so a lot of your experiences, if you're not actually, like, in those spaces or interacting with people who, like, are doing those things, are based on what you've seen and not actually, like, people's experiences. Which I think with, like, the way that media works, it's way better to try and base things off of people's experience that you've been around instead of what people are, like, you know, what's getting highlighted by, like, media. Because media benefits from telling you about, you know, it gets more attention telling you about the guy who asked the girl out and got the cops called on him. Or the guy who, like, shared his emotions and got called ick. Like, it puts way more attention into that than the guy who shares his emotions with the girl. The guy who shares his emotions to a girl and the girl just, like, you know, maybe just doesn't have feelings for him or something like that. Like it just puts way more, because again, it's trying to victimize you and get you to a cause most of the time. Yeah, but I mean, examining extreme cases is useless. Why? I think that's more of my point where I stand on, is most people aren't doing this, so it's a waste of time to focus on the people who have been misguided. Because a lot of people who have, like, a deep disdain of, like, yeah, in a lot of cases, full-on hatred doesn't do anything, and I'll agree with that. But it's the idea that, like, it's a big problem and it needs to be talked about, which is, like, what's bad. It's a very... It's a very, like, misplaced idea. But Renix, that's another thing too, where it's like you have to, like, realize as, like, being a woman too, is this something you have to deal with all the time? Like, if you're an attractive woman, you have to deal with that all the time. So, you know, maybe one time they give a bad response because they're tired of those interactions, and then people use it to, like, you know, put the blame onto the women and make the women the problem and say this guy's just doing the right thing, where it's also like, it's a culture issue with men. It's not an individual man issue, it's a culture issue. And that's the whole point I'm trying to highlight. But I mean, Sandwich, that just, like... I mean, that just, like, kind of conveys, like, all of the issues, though, that I've talked about, is, one, a lot of women have been raised to not know how to respond when a man shows emotion. So people end up in relationships and they show emotion, and the woman doesn't know how to respond to it. So then it can lead to her doing extreme things like, you know, leaving that person. But then it also ties into the idea that I was saying too, that, like, of course you're not going to hear the cases of, oh, I cried and it changed my relationship for the better, because the better things that happen very rarely get highlighted. Like, again, we live in a culture that is, like, very deeply rooted in the manosphere, and very deeply rooted in the idea of masculinity. So there's not a lot of people who are going to highlight the cases of showing that system is actually very, very hurtful to the men involved, because there's a lot of people higher up who benefit from that system of the masculinity and patriarchy. You joined to the common sleeping restream. Yeah, exactly. What Reineck said. Because it's men's fault! We live under patriarchy! The first step that you have to understand to have this conversation is that we live under patriarchy, and the patriarchy doesn't stop at the dating market. So glad I'm just Canadian? You still live under patriarchy in Canada! I don't know what your point is! You act like the dating scene and like how men act is like solely like an American issue. Patriarchy is one of those ideas that's made it pretty worldwide. What's up, Brenna? I haven't experienced any of this. This is my conversations of years of growing up being friends with women from all around the world. This isn't some, like, isolated thing where it's like, these are my own personal experiences. These are my recounts of other people's personal experiences from all around the world. Yeah, right, like, yeah, Renix, I'll never forget, like, sitting in the bleachers at my school, and two kids behind me are, like, talking about, like, all the nudes, and all the nudes that they've gotten from different girls, like, at the school, where it's like, this is male culture. Like... I know, they're at 6'7". Yeah, but are you saying, do you also know people who have asked somebody out and gotten the cops called on them? Do you also know cases of people asking somebody, like, or telling somebody how they feel and them responding with, like, ick? Like, are those also, like, individual cases that you've seen on your own firsthand or had somebody tell you about happening? Because if so, my god. I don't, like, maybe your friends need to take a new approach. Yeah, your friends need to take a new approach. Holy fuck. Look at my team asked for a split. See, look, I'm blaming men. I'm always gonna blame men, because again, we exist under patriarchy, so it's always the men's fault. My ghost, guys? Breno, I don't care about your fucking balls hurting, and yeah, I don't know. That particular friend, yes he does. It's not a particular friend, it's a man issue. if you have a why are you friends with the guy who treats women to the point where they call the like which one is it? They call the cops on him, or they say something because it's too overly emotional. Because what you also need to realize is there's a lot of men who try to teach themselves how to display emotions, which does lead to them being extremely emotional and not actually able to regulate their emotions because they had to teach it themselves all on their own. Which that is some of the issue. Like, displaying emotion is not an easy thing to do, and when you have to teach it to yourself all by yourself, that doesn't always mean you're going to be the best at it. What the hell did this guy just do? Yeah, but it's also... It's not a big issue. I mean, when why? It's like the same thing as like when people talk about like hate against different minorities, and then the white people go, well, what about what happens to white people? Where it's like, sure, yeah, that's an issue, but if you fixed a lot of the other problems, I feel like a lot of those feelings would go away. Yeah, I mean, but again, it's just all hate is bad. You could just said that. You didn't need to frame it as like the man versus woman and the gender wars, because like a lot of that is rooted in personal experiences. Where if someone has a lot of poor personal experiences with men, they're not completely blameless, but they just like And again, a lot of people who say they hate men really don't hate men. I really don't know how many people out there truly hate men. Most of them that do are lesbians, so you don't have to worry about them anyways. Why? Because they just avoid interactions with men. What things do you not want to be normalized? Well, patriarchy is already... Well, that's the issue, is you're not calling out patriarchy when the world is already completely dominated at the idea of the hands of man. And women don't ask for it to be the other way around. Like, sure, yeah. It's more of, like, an implied joke for the... for the idea of, like, the whole rough idea of, women are better is more of a sense of being, like, our whole life we've been told that men are better than us, so when a woman can do something better than a man, we have to take our wins. But most people's real goal and real idea is to be equal, not one class to rule the other one. Can this guy shut the fuck up? Why? You could have just easily summed it up by being like, God, you're emotional. And then, like, that would have hit. Oh my god, this guy's the GOAT. Cookie you want? No, the best way is just to tell me I'm being emotional. I started Prague, so I'm very emotional. Why are you copying the YouTube title? Oops. You say that so much, but, like, you're just, like, hiding behind the same thing where it's, like, all of your issues that you, like, really brought up were issues towards women, so... And you're hiding behind it being like, well, I don't think it's that much of the woman's fault, while only bringing up things that you thought were the woman's fault. So, I mean, like... That is kind of saying. Yeah, you did miss the opportunity to call me emotional. At what things did you ever call out were, like, the men's fault? Every time I talked about something that men need to change as a whole, you would bring up an extreme case of, like, a woman doing something being like, well, should the men really change if the women are just doing this anyways? Like, you know, well, why should men be more emotional? Because, you know, I've heard that girls have broken up with guys for being too emotional before, so do men really need to be more emotional? Yeah, men do have it harder than women. It would have, and I would have gotten even more pissed at you. Who's Peen? Small Peen? Peen's not that small. Actually, Peen... I think Peen's like around my height. Well, why would Breno know how to cook, you savage? Right? Like, we exist under patriarchy. Isn't that the whole point of what that we're trying to make? Yeah, that would be so good. That would, like, you literally had the ultimate setup. But I think even though that I'm very emotional, I still lay out my thoughts pretty well. I think I get too passionate about them when I'm emotional. Like, I don't think I said anything I disagree with. I think I just get too passionate about it. Wow, my misogyny turned into racism. It really is a gateway drug. Was that directed at me, or was that directed at you? The only thing I directed at you is how you only call out women while refusing to call out men. And that's still it was a very interesting thought piece. No, we're talking about how Windwise asked me if people are too emotional, and then said it would have been the ultimate setup to tell me that I'm emotional, and I was implying that I am emotional, but that just leads me to being more passionate about things and not saying anything I don't agree with. Hope this helps. I was calling out men, though. You really weren't. You were calling out women's reactions to things men do, and laying a lot of the blame on the women's reactions and not really the men's actions. Again, like, asking people out. Like, and then you, like, label it being like, well, yeah, I don't think men should ask people out, but there's also issues with these other ways, and all these other issues, and also it always stemmed back to it just, like, trying to, like, frame women as impossible. Performative men? I just hate, like, 90% of men. Maybe, like, Brano gets a pass. Windwhite probably gets a pass. That's because he's a virgin. Yeah, but being emotional isn't performative. Being emotional is... Like, I don't understand what you mean by, like, performative men. Like, what is the definition of being a performative man in, like, the dating world? I'm not, like, tapped in enough to know, like, what your idea of, like, what a performative man is in the dating world. Brandon, that's just a friendship. Brando, let's start an asexual, like, poly relationship with me, you, and Nikki, but me and Nikki are just asexual towards you. Well, me and Nikki can be... But in the action, acting, non-performing men, and ability to ask, I like... I don't know. I thought like we agreed on that, like, you know, asking people out is like just like a bad thing, and it's again, that's just like deep in the manosphere people who really even like suggest it anyways. Like, is that really performative? They're performing their idea of a man. Isn't everyone performative? All gender is performative, so the idea of a performative man is very intriguing. Because, like, everyone is just performing what their thoughts of being what gender is, right? I caught a stray for no reason, what the fuck? Wait, what stray did you catch? What did I say, Winwhy? Yeah, but that's their idea of what being a man is. Your idea of being a man, of what a man is still performative. All gender is a performance. Yeah, like, they performed that idea of the manosphere in the masculine, like, cause that's like all of what the manosphere is. It's just a sphere of what people's idea of what being a man is. So that's just some people performing their actions of what what being a man is. A lot of the issue with the whole idea of masculinity is a lot of the ideas of masculinity are all just rooted in the wrong ideas of what being a man is. And what, like, you know, and like, not what being a man is, but like what being a good person is in terms of like how to interact with women. And that's why the idea of the men to begin with is just like a bad idea, and the manosphere is so like harmful because people should just be who they are. They shouldn't have to conform to anything to be a man. But then again, a lot of that leads to men being told to not show their emotions, stuff like that. The whole idea is the issue of what a man is what the flaw issue is. Because again, all men are putting on a performance, and most of the idea of what a man is deeply rooted in a performance that is very harmful to men trying to interact positively with the other gender. Hi, gays. Hi, gays. True, this is a very gay conversation. Yeah, but you're a performative man, Sandwich. If you identify as a man, you're a performative man. You are performing gender. All gender is performative. That's my whole point. Gender is performative. I don't know. I didn't mean to buy it. I zoned out. What do you mean? I'm going on right now, Winwhy, about how gender is performative. Maybe you've already mastered this topic. Hi, Janko. But a lot of the whole concept of being a man, for all different the spectrums of being a man, is not being their true self. Again, the majority of masculine culture tells men to be tough and to not show their emotions regardless of who the voice is. Is that being your true self? Is putting your emotions deep down because you're not supposed to see them because of the fact you have a penis being your true self? Maybe to you, but the whole point is that's not what society portrays as being a man as. And that 90% of men based off that definition are not being them true selves, and just like their belief of what a man is influenced. But that is what you're talking about. Because you have to identify that all ways of displaying gender are performative. I'm my true self. Thank God, Branna. Is that not obvious? I don't know. Apparently it's not obvious to Sandwich. When did I say that? Did I say society teaches men to be a threat to women, or did I say society sets men up poorly to be able to interact within relationships with women? Because I at no point said that all men are a threat to women. I said that society has a big issue with men not being able to form healthy relationships because they're not taught how to talk about emotions and display their emotions. That's what I spoke about. I don't know where you're getting this all men are a threat to women thing. Should I quiz you, Brando? Quiz you on how, like, you being your true self? How can I quiz you on you being your true self? You're adorable. A permanent woman would be a woman who knows what they are and knows how to believe things should be done for themselves and act in a way that suits the appear to target demographic of partners. No, a performative woman is just a woman because gender is performative, and this is the issue that's going right over your head. Is that everybody performs gender. Women aren't just born being, like, women aren't just born with an inept feeling to be, oh, I want to wear a dress and shit like that. It is all performative and ingrained in them through the use of our society and cultures around those genders. That's what women are taught what to wear, how to act, what to do in order to appease to men. The same way that men are taught that that's what a woman wants, but the idea of the way of what male culture is deeply rooted in is a lot of them have gotten taught the wrong idea of what a woman really wants, which is why a lot of men struggle in relationships. Thanks, Brando. Thanks for not listening. I'm attracted to women, though. That's good, Brando. I'm glad you're attracted to women. Are you attracted to all women, Brando? Well, like, I'm saying, like, I like, you know, like, you see a woman, you just go, oh, that's a woman, you know, like, because, you know, there's some people who are like that, who are just, like, regardless of, like, everything, just, like, you know, they just, like, really badly need a woman in their life. I don't have any idea what you're talking about anymore. Well, I don't understand, like, how this idea's gone over your head the whole entire point. That, like, oh my god, you're rage baiting. This is S tier rage bait. But the last point that I will say anything about is that every man and every woman performs their gender. So the idea of a performative man being what you think is a performative man is a misguided idea because all men are performative and all women are performative. It's all a performance. That's what gender is. Which is the whole reason why gender and sex are different, because sex is just your characters. And gender is a performative idea on what that gender is. I don't like the evil ones? Yeah, I don't like the evil ones either. You just hate a woman who likes rocket ships? Sex? All of it. Who doesn't want a woman who likes rocket ships? But there's no guideline of what performing a gender is, and that's the whole idea of, like, that everyone is influenced. So, like, again, you're calling out one sector of performative men when 90% of men are performative, because everyone's idea of what gender is deeply rooted in the fact of what people's idea of gender is. If we didn't have gender and you told everybody to be their true selves, it would be a completely different ball game of what we were talking about. But that's not what society is rooted in. Society is deeply rooted in a lot of people telling people the whole time they're growing up, and also just through displays of society of what it is to be a man and what it is to be a woman, and these different ideas that are deeply ingrained into our society that everyone learns to perform. Because again, my whole point is, not very many people are born, like, you know, not very many boys are born and instantly go, I love cars, I want to play with car toys. No, that's what society says they should be playing with. That's what they're given. Like, a lot of the ways that the genders perform and act are engraved and carved out by society's way of saying this is the way you should act. I was born wanting Legos. That's so fire. Did any of them like the Rays? I feel bad for those who like grew up being told to like the Rays. So my like whole point is that like no one is truly ever being their true self when they're being grown up being told how to act and what to do because of, you know, the idea of what their genders are supposed to do. So just because one person gets lost and follows the ideas of someone like Tate, who you disagree with, doesn't mean they're any more or less performative than you are for, like, what's influenced of you. You're putting on a performance. We all put on performances. I was born with secret knowledge. Maybe I live in a bubble where people chanting our ideas isn't a factor. So you're saying that when kids are growing up, and they don't aren't is this like the argument that like kids aren't influenced now? Because I mean I've been told multiple times that kids are very impressionable. So now it's that just gender exists because that's what like kids grow up and just want to do, and there's zero influence at all into it. Because I thought I keep getting told kids are incredibly impressionable. I don't like this. I don't like the idea that like, are you saying that like people aren't influenced about what's around them? You're saying environment has no impact? Because I'm relatively sure that like you could like this is a very easily proven experience. If you have like if you have a son that grows up with, you know, with two gay fathers, he's gonna perform the idea of being a male different than someone who grows up with, you know, a mother and a father, because again, their idea of what being a man is completely different. I'm saying they know what they want, confront what they want, but put a stereotype we want to be attractive because they're targeted for personal game, no other reasons. What like? They can be formed other men in order like. So you're but that's the point is that. That's just a completely different thing to being performative. You can just say they're like performing the act of just chasing sex, which is yes deeply rooted in male culture. But all men are performing. That is the whole point. Is they're just performing a different act. It doesn't mean that not everyone is performing, which is again the idea that has to be like understood. You know, I wish Junior could perform the act of lifting the ball in the air more. Yeah, but you're implying that they're performative like all you don't like their performance. It's not that you don't like that they're performative, you don't like their performance. That is the point I'm trying to make. I think my teammate's hacking. What do you guys think? You guys should all think Sandwich. Sandwich rage baiting me got the stream to go longer. The stereotypical threatened question is whether they think their target is attracted to. Yeah, it's the whole point. They got influenced to believe and got told that the way to be attractive wasn't the way to be attractive. Which again, my whole point is that's why the idea of the male loneliness epidemic, the man, like, you know, and all of that is an issue. Because it's, I guess I have to do my quotation marks down here, you know, like, sorry. I like, put them up because I'm used to face cam. But then that idea would be, that since a lot of men are lonely and struggling to form relationships, the issue stems from the idea of that because gender is a performance and a lot of people do get told how to act in pursuit of how to have relationships and be desirable, that a lot of the feedback they are getting told and the ways of being told how to be a man is not helping them in pursuit of relationships. Because there is a deep misunderstanding on the side of what women actually want on the male side, or by the men. Like, the men have a deeply misguided understanding of what that is, which then again leads to them misguiding everybody. So everyone's performance in hopes of getting a mate, of finding a mate, is wrong. Yeah. But the whole issue is people were told. There's many cases of people who are told what being a man is, so they perform that gender perform those tasks before they even seek out what being a man is. Because that's what happens too. It's a process of finding what works for you and finding what doesn't work for you in that sense too. Where there's a lot of men who are told what being a man is, and then it doesn't work for them because they have whatever they're trying to pursue. So they feel like or whatever, they feel like they're I can't say the word, but it's like, their manhood's taken away. I struggle with some words. I'm terrible. But then they seek out another venue of way to actually be a man because they don't feel comfortable in their manhood. So then they go find another source of what being a man is, and then again that sometimes fulfills to them and sometimes doesn't. The idea is that all gender is performances, and everyone is looking for a performance of a gender that works for them. Yeah, emasculating, thank you. Again, there's a lot of times where people get emasculated and then they stem out to different ways to try and find out to what really being what a man is. What do you mean some were told? But is this your idea? Is this your idea though that okay. So this is your idea. This is how society is viewed through your lens. So you're born, and then you ignore all the actions around you and everything you see while growing up, and then you come of age to be attracted to women, and then you just decide that that's the right way to interact with women, because is this how you're saying it? Or are they not influenced by the men around them that shape their ideas of this is the way to go out with women, which even if they're not seeking it out, they're subconsciously taking it in, which would still imply that the idea of what manhood is entirely wrong, and the people who are spreading the idea of what manhood is are false and don't actually are in grasp of what a woman really wants. Yeah, but again, so your argument is that when kids are growing up, and when people are growing up and figuring out what they want to be, they figure this out all on themselves, completely isolated from everything around them. So the way their parents treated them doesn't matter. The way their peers treated them doesn't matter. None of this matters until they come to decide what they want on their own, and nothing else in their life is factored into the way they act or the way they behave. That doesn't... True and why, but I'll just debate anything. I mean, it's a silly debate, but... Joel. Yeah, I know. Because what they think is wrong, Winwise, so technically my debate isn't wrong. It's just a pointless debate to have. See, look, now it's like, most of my friends are guys. Is this the cop-out now? Where it's like, I've been interacting with men and friends with men my whole life, so now the cop-out is, I'm not allowed to critique negative things I see within male culture because I've stated I don't like things in male culture, which leads to me, again, saying I hate all men while actively engaging in conversation with countless of men in this stream chat? Yeah, but, like, my issue is, like, that I'm trying to find a way to, like, reform the way that, like, the issues that men have. Because, again, it's talked about that there's a male loneliness epidemic, right? Like, it's a thing that's talked about. It's not like it's some, like, thing that, like, which again, and my whole point is that if you want to address this said male loneliness epidemic, you have to look at what the culture of men are doing wrong to make it be that so many of the boys and men are struggling to find a romantic partner. But instead, the whole issue that you were doing is you're stemming out and blaming the women for men doing things that they don't want them to do, which again, and then you hide behind some idea that, like, every relationship's gonna work, and that, like, you know, some people have done things and it hasn't worked out for them, which doesn't mean the process is wrong. The idea is that there's some processes that are right that aren't going to work sometimes, which again, is why I more commonly believe that being able to form healthy relationships with people and then turning that into an actual romantic relationship is a way better strategy than walking up to people on the street and objectifying them. Like, I mean, like, it's more of this, just, like, a whole, I mean, like, it's deeply rooted in a whole deflection of the idea that, like, men are the reason for men's problems. And I mean, like, that's kind of what it all stemmed from for me, too, whereas, like, I've realized that a lot of his critiques in the last conversation were, like, reshaping that things that, like, only some men did that negatively impacted women, when it's not just a some men problem, it's a male culture issue. And I think that's, like, the whole issue, where it's, like, yeah, a lot of these things that are being talked about probably don't apply to him, and that's probably why he, like, frames the argument the way he does, but it is a male culture issue that then stems to lead both ways. The fact that men are struggling to get relationships is not a woman problem. Yeah, but my point is that you were, like, bringing up cases of, like, a man trying something and a woman responding negatively to it. Yeah, but again, isn't this, like, I'm saying this in potential relationships don't start because of men's fears of being received as a different kind of man because of a woman's experience another man who might have made that woman hate all men. But wouldn't the idea, but this is the thing that I'm also that I pointed out in the whole conversation, is most women don't view men as all men truly being the same. Like, sure, everybody says things when there's hurting. Is there not songs titled "All Girls Are the Same" and things like that? Like, are there not these, like, are there not, like, these, like, groupings in fucking, like, God, I can't use words. A woman responding negatively because they're men? Yeah, that's a men issue! You should be wanting to fix your culture then. Don't just fix the some, like, yeah. Again, some men have it right. And I'm not saying every man is wrong, because again, truly deep down, I find it funny to say I hate men, but I don't think every man is evil. Everything, Jediah. Actually, Jediah, I'm not arguing with you here. You'd agree with this guy, Jediah. Jediah, you don't want to stem into this argument. Yeah, WinY. Again, deeply rooted in trying to argue the extreme cases, and again, trying to just blame some men for the issue with, like, the male, like, loneliness epidemic or whatever, and not, like, reshaping it to be like it's just a male issue as a whole. You don't just get to blame some men for your issues. You have to, like, look deep within yourself, in the culture and all of that, to, it's a systemic issue. It's not just, like, a issue within male culture that's just, like, relegated to what he views as, like, the performative men, who are, like, the people who follow Tate and stuff like that, where it's, like, it's not just an issue with the men who act like that. What would I agree with? The only reason it could be is if there weren't any women, though. dog. We live under patriarchy. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, win-win. This is, like, kind of the ratification is kind of, like, more summing it up to is, like, you know, women have had bad interactions with men in the past, so I must be doing everything right, and that's why the woman isn't taking me, because of a bad interaction in the past. It's, like, well, kind of more how it feels. I'm not saying it's exactly what he's saying, but it's kind of, like, how it feels. Still don't know what I'm agreeing with. I'm not actually saying you would agree, Jediah. Just an argument that we did have at one point does stem very, very much at the front of my mind, and I'll never forget it. Thank you, bedwars. No, women having animosity towards men because of past reasons on whoever gave them that idea to begin with. The men gave them that idea. The men treated them poorly. Don't. But if it was a woman, would you still be the man's fault? You could say yes, but it would go deeper than that. Your thoughts properly were you always reframing the argument to be woman's fault, which you're still doing now, which is still my whole entire fucking point, that men love blaming women instead of looking deep within their own problems, which is such a big fucking cause of the epidemic to fucking begin with. Like... But my point is what? There's not very many women who get told, oh, men are bad, and then never give a guy a chance. This is an extreme. And again, I'm not arguing about extremes because it's dumb to do, because if you fix the issues that cause the extremes, which cause the actual issues that are being talked about, the extreme cases wouldn't exist. I don't know, like, what do you mean it's who, but like, you made the point of, you said, okay, so you said that it's whoever's made them think that men are bad thoughts into that woman's head is at fault for the woman not giving the guy a chance, right? But doesn't that always end up going back to men? Like, doesn't it always go, like, I don't think there's very many, like, women for sport who just go around saying men are terrible without genuine experiences to back it up. And most women are rational enough to be like, oh, what did a man do to you to make you hate men? And then actually hear what happened in you know, Gates Thrown stories, which then again, most women would still give at least one guy a chance after that before they, quote-unquote, start saying, I hate men, which again, most women who even say that still give guys a chance in the first place and don't truly hate men. Yeah, but arguing about the extreme cases is dumb! Let's fix the male, like, culture issues that cause women to being treated poorly so we don't have to worry about the women who hate men for being treated poorly. Which, again, most women who do get treated poorly don't actually escalate to hating men. They escalate to hating the man that hurt them, which when they're talking about it, generalize it by saying, I hate all men, while still giving men a chance. What? What? I mean, it all started because me and Winwise were like was making the argument with me that women hating men isn't necessarily helpful, and then I reframed the argument to be like, well, women don't really hate men. It's a very extreme case where Winwise whole idea was more of just hating people isn't helpful to begin with. I hate women because my friend got a girlfriend and now he won't play Fortnite with me. Valid. Which then led to Sandwich kind of rightfully so, and I'm perfectly fine with he did, sharing his thoughts on the issue, which I think were rooted in rooted in a lot of things with just kind of all ties back to being well, we don't really know what the woman really wants, with me calling out a lot of the issues that exist within manhood was that was his first response of being well, we don't really know what women really want, sometimes you show your emotions to them and they just tell say ick and just make fun of you, or you ask them out and they call the cops on you, which is the man's fault. Yeah, it's the man's fault for not being able to understand women enough to be able to systemically be able to the issue would be, this is the issue. The issue would be if it's one man and one woman, and that one man didn't know what that one woman wanted, wouldn't be an issue. We can move on. The issue is we have millions and millions of men who have no clue what the women want. That's the issue. It's not like this is just a case-by-case basis. This is a deep problem of men going, well, of men just having no clue what the women want, and then again, the men around them not having a clue either. And then just instead of trying to understand what the woman wants, they keep trying to portray their own ideas of what a woman wants. It's a systemic issue that's very, very deeply rooted in the man not knowing what the woman wants. It's not the man's fault or the woman's fault. People like attractive people. Jediah, shut the fuck up! This is why I want Jediah out of here. Jediah comes in here with this black pill shit that everyone just is attracted to everybody based on fucking looks, when it's just not true. Looks are not the only factor in if you're attracted to somebody. We are social animals. The way someone socially interacts, yes, you have advantages in the dating market if you're well looking. But I've been told by my cousin herself, she prefers people who are less good looking than people who are more good looking because they actually know how to have a conversation with her. So yeah, Jediah, your belief is deeply rooted in the idea that everyone objectifies each other, which is just, for the most part, the generalization of it is true, yes, but we can make things to lessen the effect that we objectify other people. That's an issue in itself. The fact that people are taught to objectify each other, and that's what we should look for in a relationship. Not the idea, again, if you like someone who's attractive, that's perfectly fine, but is there not a whole issue in the culture of walking up to somebody because they're attractive and then asking them out without knowing a single thing about them? Is there not a whole issue in the culture of dating apps where it's just two people swiping back and forth, not actually knowing a thing about the other person and judging on if they want to talk about them solely on attractiveness? Is that a deep cultural issue of something that we should try to weed out, of the fact that a lot of healthy relationships form because of two personalities that click together, not two people who just are attracted to each other, because a lot of those relationships weigh out, and that's a big reason why our society is just stemming more and more towards hookup culture. Everyone objectifies everyone, it's just like relationships are... Yes, everyone objectifies each other, but not everyone chooses who they are going to mate with solely on attraction. Like, or solely on, like, looks. Looks are not the sole, like... I don't get into relationships with people solely on how pretty they are. There has to be other factors. Do I enjoy my time with them? Are they smart? Do we get along on things? Can we talk about things? Like... Pansexual is basically just bisexual with extra steps. Yeah, but that's the argument Jediah just made. The halo effect is a studied concept. The halo effect is deeply rooted in misunderstandings of what attractiveness even fucking is, Jediah. So bring up the fucking halo effect and I will break your fucking knee on something. Like, shut the fuck up! I asked you many times to define what the fuck is attractiveness and tell me how attractiveness in the first place isn't deeply rooted in class to fucking begin with, and you can't. Because, Jediah, who sold the idea of what being attractive is? The people in power or the people who aren't in power? Like... Is attractiveness not dictated in the first place by the ruling fucking class? Yeah. That's 100% true, Jedi, but then to bring up the halo effect, which is 100% based on looks and attractiveness, most times, that's just, I don't know, like, you're gonna, like, imply people have attractive personalities and there are looks that play a factor in that? Sure. Wouldn't that just be being a good person? Which you can just word it as being a good person is more beneficial than being a bad person? But besides, like, hiding it behind this, like, black pill brain rot? I told you, pansexual is just bisexual with extra steps. Just another name for bisexual. A woman doesn't just... I don't even... Like, this is the deep thing, too, where it's, like... I think, like, what we don't factor in a lot about, like, the relationships is... I think the dad has a lot more to blame for relationships with, like, between, like, women and men, than the past relationships between the man and woman. The dad dictates so much more of, like, the woman than, the relationship, which, again, is if you fix male culture to have men be more okay with expressing their emotions, you then lead to a, you more just lead to a better off society. I mean, I don't know. I'll send why I'm laughing. Oh, that's perfect. I think that's what I end on. Bye forever. I'm gonna send you something. I'm also gonna upload on YouTube, so check out the game of the year. Bye, guys. It's true, Jediah. I mean, it's honestly true, Jediah. You have a better chance of if you have a good personality than if you're good looking, with like actually having a genuine relationship. Hi, Cass. Bye, Cass.